More on our top story. Former President Jacob Zuma's private prosecution bid against President Cyril Ramaphosa has been postponed to the 26th of May. SABC News political reporter Canny Maphanga has been following the court proceedings and she joins us live in studio. Good morning, Canny. So for those who haven't really been following the story and they've been catching it in dribs and drabs, perhaps you can bring us up to speed in terms of how we got here and what happened this morning.
Of course. Well, good day to you, Nastasia, and the viewers at home. So essentially what we're dealing with here is one common theme, which is the alleged disclosure of the former president's health records and his corruption trial in the Pietermaritzburg High Court. He came up with three categories, that is an alleged perpetrator, alleged accomplice, and an alleged accessory after the fact. The third category is where the current president comes in. The former president launched this private prosecution bid against him last year in December after he felt that after writing to the president stating that there is this alleged breach following the alleged leak of the documents, the health documents in question, the president did not intervene in a manner that he would have wanted him to. As a head of state, he wanted the president to set up a commission of inquiry, an investigation into that institution that is the NPA, because he felt there was a risk due to that alleged conduct by the senior prosecutor, and by extension the criminal justice system as a whole. The president has already made it public that the option was to refer the matter to the Minister of Justice, to refer the matter to the LPC. Because nothing took place after that, we understand that is why the former president is trying to prosecute the president, because he felt that in that non-acting of dealing with the matter, he felt that there was an omission or commission of, I guess, enabling the alleged conduct that took place. So that is how we arrived to this moment. Of course, on Monday, you saw that the president won the first round of his challenge to this private prosecution bid. The interim interdict that was granted halted the former president from giving any further effect to this private prosecution bid. However, we're here today and it appears that the former president was able to continue in his capacity as a prosecutor without the president appearing in that dock regarding this private prosecution bid.
So what happens next?
So what happens essentially is that we understand that the purposes of today's appearance in the Gauteng High Court, that is in the criminal court, is that they didn't want that matter to be dismissed or struck off the roll. So it was essential for the private prosecutor, that would be the former president, Jacob Zuma, to appear and have this matter enrolled, then articulate to the court what exactly is happening. They've articulated to the court that there is this interdict, which does not require the president to appear. And they've also now spelled out to the court that they would like to appeal that interdict. So we don't know if they're going to go directly to the Supreme Court of Appeal or if they will go to the Constitutional Court regarding this. We've just heard Advocate Dalrymple just dropped that information in court earlier today, saying that they are going to appeal. And on what grounds, we're not sure yet. We're waiting for further information from at least the foundation and its representatives to give us further clarity as to how they're going to take that matter forward. We do know that after the case management meeting yesterday, that there is the Part B of the application, which is the president's application, will now be heard in mid-May. And then the postponement itself is on the 26th of May for the criminal proceedings. So the foundation and the former president's position is that the courts don't have to deal with the same matter in different courts, the civil and the criminal courts, at the same time. Rather have it in one court, and the former president, or the president rather, can defend his case there.
Okay, so now that we have this outlined, from your perspective, you know, you've been covering the story for quite some time. What are you going to be paying attention to between now and mid-May?
Well, we'll have to first pay attention to Part B of the application, which deals with the meat of the president's challenge of the private prosecution bid. If the president is successful there in showing the court that the manner in which the summons and the certificates were obtained was not in a constitutionally valid manner, then it almost invalidates the private prosecution. And I think at that point we won't be able to get to the 26th of May as stated in court earlier today. If they are successful in the appeal, then of course that brings us back all over again, and I don't know what the effects of that will be at this stage.
All right, Canny, thank you so much for outlining that for us in greater detail. That is our our news reporter, Canny Maphanga, outlining some of the key metrics of that particular case.